In Chinese medicine, there's a concept that explains why so many women experience menopause fatigue that Western medicine honestly can't touch. It's called Jing depletion, and it's why your kidneys hold the key to your energy reserves. You're experiencing menopause fatigue, exhaustion in a way that sleep doesn't fix. The kind of adrenal fatigue in midlife that makes you wonder if you'll ever feel like yourself again. You wake up tired. You crash in the afternoon. You need coffee just to function. And somewhere around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you'd give anything for a nap. Your doctor may have run labs. Everything looks normal. So she shrugs and suggests you're just stressed. Maybe try taking more supplements, vitamin D, B12, adrenal support, magnesium. So you do. You add them to the pile. And for a while, maybe you feel a little bit better. But when the fatigue comes back worse than before, here's what no one's telling you about adrenal fatigue and menopause. You're not tired because you need more supplements. Your kidney function is compromised, and Chinese medicine has known why for thousands of years. You've been making withdrawals from an energy bank account that's been empty for years. And those supplements, they're putting more burden on the kidneys that are already struggling to keep up. Because while you've been focused on what to take and what to add, you've missed the real problem. In midlife, your deepest energy reserves are depleted, and your kidneys, which hold those reserves, can't regenerate when you keep flooding them with stress, toxins, and yes, even supplements. If this sounds familiar, stay with me because by the end of this video, I'm going to show you what your kidneys actually need to rebuild your energy reserves and why the supplement industry has been lying to you. And if you're new here, I'm Dr. Gayla Gorman, a licensed acupuncturist, naturopath, and author of What's Your Kryptonite? I specialize in Chinese medicine. I have a master's degree in Oriental medicine. So, talking about this topic, Jing and your energy reserves having to do with your kidney function, that's in my wheelhouse. And if you'd like to connect with me, use the QR code on the screen or go to drgayla.com/links. On this channel, I'm here to help you reverse the effects of chronic stress so that you can cruise through midlife and beyond symptom free. And in this particular video, we're exploring kidney health for women over 40, energy reserves in menopause, and what Chinese medicine reveals about adrenal fatigue in midlife, especially why conventional approaches to menopause fatigue keep failing. You're going to learn why your kidneys hold your deepest energy reserves, what Jing depletion has to do with menopause symptoms, and why indiscriminate supplement use might be making everything worse. So let's get started. Let me tell you about something that changed the way I think about health. Years ago, I was deep in the trenches of my accounting career. Now, this has been many decades. I was spending long hours under incredibly high stress and living on black tea and ambition. I thought I was managing fine until one day I wasn't. My body hit a wall I didn't see coming, and I was just in my mid 30s. Exhaustion that sleep didn't touch if I was fortunate enough to get a decent night's sleep. Brain fog so thick I couldn't focus. A persistent low grade anxiety that felt like static in my nervous system. My doctor ran labs. Everything looked normal. So she shrugged and suggested that I was just stressed. But I knew something deeper was happening. I was bankrupt, not financially, energetically. I'd been making withdrawals from my body's reserve account for years without putting anything back in, even though arguably I was living a pretty healthy life and lifestyle with the exception of the stress that I was under. So now the account was empty. In Chinese medicine, the kidneys and bladder form the water element, and they're not just about filtering waste, they're about storage, reserves, the deepest wells of energy your body can draw from. Think of them as your energetic bank account. When you're young, like I was, That account is flush. You can pull late nights, recover quickly, bounce back from stress without much effort. But in midlife, especially for women navigating hormonal shifts, that reserve account starts showing the wear. This is where Chinese medicine's understanding of kidney function becomes critical. While Western medicine only looks at kidney filtration, Chinese medicine recognizes that kidney function includes your deepest energy reserves, what's called Jing. And when you understand this, menopause fatigue suddenly makes perfect sense. And here's the part most people don't understand. Unlike the gut, which regenerates every few days, or even the liver, which regenerates slowly over months, the kidneys prioritize stability over rapid turnover. They don't replace themselves quickly. They're designed to last, to conserve, to hold. Recent research on kidney function shows that kidneys do have a small pool of progenitor cells that can proliferate after injury. Surviving tubular cells can divide and help repair damaged tissue. This validates what Chinese medicine has taught for millennia. Your kidneys can heal, but only when specific conditions are met. So here's the catch. That regeneration only happens when the injury stops. If you keep flooding your system with stress hormones, inflammation, toxicity, and yes, even excessive supplements, the kidneys can't heal. They just keep compensating, filtering, holding on until they can't anymore. If you're wondering how adrenal fatigue, kidney health, and low energy all fit together, especially if you're a woman in midlife, you'll find a deeper explanation and practical steps in one of my other videos, how humic and fulvic acid enhance detoxification. The link should pop up right here on your screen, but if you miss it, no worries. I've included it in the description below. Now, where was I? So I was saying your kidneys hold your deepest reserves. But in midlife, when you're dealing with adrenal fatigue, fluctuating hormones, and chronic stress, you've been overdrawing on reserves that were never meant to be used this way. This is why so many women in midlife feel like they're running on fumes. You're not imagining it. You've been spending from an account that's been empty for years. So if your kidneys hold these deep reserves, why do so many women feel like their energy only gets worse in midlife? And why do all the supplements and protocols not work? Because we've been sold a story about adrenal fatigue and menopause that misses the most important piece. So let me show you what's actually happening. Let's talk about something most Western medicine completely ignores, this concept of Jing. In Chinese medicine, the kidneys store Jing, which is your essence, your vitality, your deepest life force. It's thought that you're born with a certain amount and that you really can't create more. Imagine our shock in my class in Oriental Medicine School when this bit of information was first shared. Believe me, it was not a popular message. The thought that you can't create more goes against everything that we believe in functional medicine. We are a regenerative machine, right? If we go with the premise that you really can't create more, the good news is you can conserve it. Chinese medicine recognizes that adrenal fatigue and menopause are intimately connected through kidney function. This is why menopause fatigue isn't just about hormones, it's about Jing depletion symptoms that Western medicine doesn't even have language for. Every time you push through exhaustion, you're spending Jing. Every time you ignore your body's signals, you're spending Jing. Every time you prioritize everyone else's needs over your own recovery, you guessed it, you're spending Jing. And in midlife, when your hormonal reserves are also depleted, you simply can't afford to keep spending like that. Here's what makes this worse. Adrenal fatigue is directly related to kidney function in Chinese medicine. They're the same system. When your adrenals are burned out from chronic stress, your kidney energy is depleted. Here's what most women don't understand about the menopause transition. Your adrenals are supposed to pick up the slack when your ovaries stop producing hormones. That's the design. But when you go into menopause with adrenal fatigue, when your reserves are already empty, your adrenals have nothing to donate. They can't compensate. And that's precisely why menopause symptoms are amplified. It's not just about declining estrogen. It's about depleted adrenals being unable to do the job they're designed to do. And when you experience Jing depletion symptoms, when your reserves are empty, menopause fatigue intensifies. Hot flashes get worse. Sleep becomes impossible. Brain fog intensifies. Weight clings on because your adrenals don't have the reserves to pick up the slack when your ovaries stop producing hormones. There's nothing to donate, no buffer for the hormonal transition. This is the connection between adrenal fatigue and menopause that Chinese medicine has understood for centuries. Western medicine looks at your labs and says everything's normal, but normal lab values don't measure energetic depletion. They don't measure Jing. A 2026 study confirms that kidney progenitor cells can regenerate after injury, but chronic damage leads to scarring and loss of function. The key finding: regeneration is possible, but only when the assault on the tissue stops. Chronic inflammation and stress create an environment where repair simply can't happen. Your body wants to heal, but it can't rebuild a house while it's still on fire. Now, here's the part that might surprise you. One of the things keeping that fire burning is the very supplements you're taking to try to fix the problem. Most women in midlife are taking handfuls of supplements: multivitamins, adaptogens, adrenal support, hormone balancer, immune boosters. The list goes on. But your kidneys have to process every single one of those. Every pill you take gets filtered through your kidneys. And when you're taking them indiscriminately, long term, without addressing the root cause, you're not supporting your kidneys, you're burdening them. This is why supplements can hurt kidneys when taken indiscriminately. Your kidneys have to filter every single pill, and when kidney function is already compromised from chronic stress and menopause fatigue, more supplements aren't solving the problem, they're adding to it. This is one of the many reasons why I don't recommend taking supplements indiscriminately or long term. Not because supplements are inherently bad, I do prescribe them when they're appropriate and for short periods of time. But really, the reason why I don't recommend them is because they're not free. They're not free financially, and they're not a free ride in your system. Your body has to process them. And if your kidneys are already depleted, more supplements aren't the answer. Many women don't realize that even when they're doing all the right things, taking the supplements, managing their stress, eating clean, their kidneys are still struggling. Some supplements actually make things worse by adding to the toxic load. Some are less bad, potentially, just masking symptoms without addressing the underlying depletion. And if you're following the wrong approach, you could be working against your body's limited capacity to heal, especially where the kidneys are concerned. When your kidney energy is depleted, when you're experiencing Jing depletion symptoms, everything else suffers. Adrenal fatigue and menopause become inseparable. Your kidney function can't support the detoxification, filtration, and energy production your body needs. And menopause fatigue becomes the new normal. Your adrenals were supposed to support you through menopause, but they can't give what they don't have. This is why women who enter menopause already running on empty experience the worst symptoms. So here's what you're probably wondering. If supplements aren't the answer, what does Chinese medicine recommend for rebuilding energy reserves in menopause? How do you address adrenal fatigue in midlife and restore kidney function naturally? Well, I'm going to give you some specific steps that create deposits in your energetic bank account instead of just slowing the withdrawals. These aren't quick fixes, they're the foundational changes that honor what your kidneys actually need. So let's review these 10 steps to rebuild kidney energy and reserves. Rebuilding your energy reserves isn't about adding more supplements or pushing harder. It's about making deposits into an account you've been overdrawing on for years. Here's what that actually looks like. First, stop the withdrawals. This means saying no, setting boundaries, refusing to keep pushing through exhaustion. Every time you override your body's signals that it needs to rest, you're making a withdrawal. The first step isn't adding more support, it's stopping the drain. Prioritize deep restorative sleep. Your kidneys do most of their repair work at night when you're sleeping, when the demand on your system is low. If you're not sleeping deeply, if you're waking multiple times, if you're running on adrenaline, even in your dreams, your kidneys can't do the work they're designed to do. This isn't optional, this is essential. Next, audit your supplements ruthlessly. Look at every single supplement you're taking. Do you know why you started it? Do you know if you still need it? And if you've been taking it for more than 3 or 6 months, I suggest you pause and really recalibrate. Were you taking it because a blood test showed a deficiency or because someone on Instagram said it was good? If you can't justify it with clear reasoning, stop taking it. Your kidneys will thank you. Support your adrenals through nervous system regulation. In Chinese medicine, your adrenals and kidneys are the same system energetically. This is why adrenal fatigue and menopause are so interconnected. They're both manifestations of depleted kidney function. The best support for menopause fatigue isn't another adaptogen. It's regulating your stress response through practices Chinese medicine has refined for thousands of years. Deep breathing, gentle movement, time in nature, these signal your nervous system that it's safe to rest. And when your nervous system relaxes, your adrenals can start to recover. Next, eat foods that nourish kidney energy. In Chinese medicine, certain foods support kidney function and build reserves. These include bone broth, black beans, walnuts, sea vegetables rich in iodine. These aren't magic, they're nutrient-dense foods that provide building blocks without burdening your system. Real food trumps supplements every time. Stay hydrated properly. Your kidneys need adequate water to function, but they also need electrolytes. Drinking plain water all day without minerals can actually stress your kidneys further. Add a pinch of sea salt to your water, or drink mineral-rich bone broth or herbal teas. Next, reduce the toxic load. This is another extremely important one. Every toxin your kidneys filter is energy spent. Minimize alcohol. Be strategic about medications. Choose clean personal care products. Filter your water. These aren't extreme measures, they're basic kidney protection. Address chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation disrupts the signals your kidney cells need to regenerate. That means looking at your gut health, your stress levels, your sleep quality, and your toxin exposure. It's all connected. You can't heal your kidneys in isolation. Move gently and consistently. Exercise that's too intense actually depletes kidney energy. But gentle, consistent movement supports circulation, reduces inflammation, and helps your body clear metabolic waste. Walking, Tai Chi, gentle yoga, these support healing without creating more stress. Give yourself permission to rest without guilt. This is the hardest one for most women, including myself. In Chinese medicine, the kidneys govern willpower. When kidney energy is depleted, you literally don't have the reserves to keep pushing. That exhaustion you feel, it's not weakness, it's wisdom. Your body is telling you to stop. The question is whether you're listening. So remember what I said at the beginning, that feeling of being exhausted in a way that sleep doesn't fix, that knowing something deeper is wrong even though your labs look normal. When you stop trying to supplement your way out of depletion and start actually rebuilding reserves, when you prioritize sleep and stop overdrawing on your energetic bank account, everything changes. Energy stabilizes, brain fog lifts, hormones balance, Even menopause symptoms, and yes, even if they've been unbearable, become manageable. Because you won't just be managing symptoms anymore. You'll be replenishing the deepest reserves the body depends on. Because Chinese medicine was right all along. Adrenal fatigue in midlife isn't a hormone problem requiring more supplements. It's a kidney function problem requiring different support. And when you address menopause fatigue at the root through the lens of energy reserves and Jing conservation, your body remembers how to heal. That's what happens when you stop treating your kidneys like they're broken and start treating them like they're depleted. Your kidneys aren't failing you, they're just empty. And once you stop the withdrawals, reduce the burden, and give your body the rest it needs, your kidneys will slowly, steadily rebuild your reserves. So now you know it's not about finding the right supplement stack or pushing through one more day. It's about making deposits, creating space, honoring the fact that in midlife you simply don't have the reserves you used to have. And that's not failure, that's biology. When you work with that reality instead of against it, healing becomes possible. And if your best efforts to live a healthy lifestyle and do all the things you've been led to think are supposed to work aren't getting the job done, you may even be feeling like you take 2 steps forward and 3 back. I have more resources to help you navigate midlife. Just go to drgala.com/links and watch my next video where I show you how to manage the toxic stress that's sabotaging your efforts. You can eliminate the symptoms that seem to be piling up in midlife naturally without medication, crazy diets, intense exercise, or any other unsustainable lifestyle hack.